Hey, 3631 Tactical. If you're considering getting a CPL or a concealed pistol license, we want to give you 5 tips to help you along the way. Now, the laws vary state to state, but in my state, I'm in Michigan, you have to take an 8-hour pistol safety course in order to get a CPL, which is a concealed pistol license. So when you take that class, please find a quality class. There's a lot of good instructors out here in my state that are doing some good stuff with good instruction, good classes, good thorough classes that teach people what they need to know. But then there's also a lot of boneheads out here. I've said this in other videos, charging $49.99 just to get you in the door, and you're in and out, and they got your money and they're happy, but they didn't teach you a damn thing. And it's very important that you learn the laws of your state. You have to know this stuff. I mean, you very easily can be an otherwise law-abiding citizen, and as soon as you start carrying a gun, you find yourself in a situation, you make the wrong decision because you don't know the laws, and you find yourself in jail. So please go to a quality class that is very thorough. They teach you all the laws of your state. Somebody that's very knowledgeable about firearms, that knows how to shoot them, that has carried them for a long time, and they can give you some good first-hand advice about, hey, this holster is good, and stay away from this holster, or this gun works good, or this flashlight, or whatever. Have somebody, go to a class, somebody that has some actual real-life experience, and they didn't just read this out of a book, now they're regurgitating it to you. Try to find somebody that has experience, and again, please make sure it's a quality class. That's the first step. If you start down the right path with a quality class, you'll be good. If you start down the path with some half-ass class and you don't learn what you need to know, it's going to kind of, I think, go south from there. All right, so tip number 2 is choose the right pistol for you. Don't be bullied into buying something that doesn't fit you by the guy behind the gun counter because he wants to sell the most expensive gun he has, or because he has his preference. That's great, but what his preference is might not work for you. So if you have a friend that has some pistols, maybe try to go out and shoot some. If not, there's gun ranges that allow you to rent guns and shoot a couple different things and see what you like. But really do some research before you go out and just buy a pistol, because if you don't like it and you're reselling it, you're always going to probably lose money when you resell it, because now it's used. You're not going to get the price probably that you paid for it. So take your time, do your research, and pick what you like. There's a lot of different options. I have 5 different guns here in front of me. I'm going to start off at the small end. This is a little 38 special. It's got a 2-inch barrel, very small gun, very compact. I mean, you can put this thing in a little pocket holster and put it in your pocket. It's very easy to conceal. Nobody's going to know you have it. These things are very simple. Basically, your bullets go in the cylinder there. You close the cylinder and that's it. There's no safety, there's no hammer, there's no nothing. You just keep it concealed. Something happens and you need it, you draw it out, aim at the bad guy and pull the trigger. Very simple. That's one of the benefits of the gun. It's very small, very easy to conceal. But you only have 5 rounds. And unfortunately nowadays, a lot of these robberies, carjackings, when stuff goes bad, sometimes it's 2, 3, 4 bad guys. And 5 rounds just, I think, isn't enough. These guns can be harder to reload as far as reloading them fast, unless you practice a lot all the time. They also can be harder to shoot. Such a small gun with such a short barrel, especially if you're running like some plus P ammo in this thing, there's a lot of recoil here. And even though it's a small gun, you're going to get more recoil out of this than you are out of, say, like a full-size gun, something like this. So yeah, this is easy to conceal, but it's a little harder to shoot and doesn't have as much ammo. The next option here, a gun of similar size. This is a Glock 26, which is a 9mm, and it is very similar in size to the revolver. They're both, I guess, what you call subcompact pistols. The advantage with this gun, though, is that the magazine that it comes with holds 10 rounds of 9mm. So here you got 5 rounds, here you got 10 rounds. So you're already starting off at double the rounds. Personally, I think these are a little bit easier to shoot than the revolver. It's an individual preference. You can also get little magazine extensions that'll increase the magazine capacity by a couple rounds. And that's what I have on my gun. And my gun holds 12 rounds. I have another magazine in my back pocket, so just with this small gun and the extra magazine, I got 24 rounds. That's a lot more than just 5. But that's not, again though, going back to the small size of the gun, sometimes these smaller guns are harder to shoot. Like I said, this is a 9mm, so it's not bad, But some of you that like to carry bigger calibers, if you're gonna carry a 40 or a 45 and you got a 45 that's this size, it's gonna be difficult to shoot. You're gonna have to practice with that thing. Here is what I suggest for most people. This is a Glock 19, which is, again, it's a 9mm, but it's a compact pistol, so it's kind of that medium-sized gun. This fits most people pretty well, meaning it's a big enough gun that they can shoot it well, but it's still small enough that it's pretty easy to conceal. This is kind of that middle-of-the-road gun. This gun has a magazine capacity of 15 rounds, so I can put one mag, have the gun loaded, put another mag in my back pocket, and I got 30 rounds, and that should be enough to defend yourself in most self-defense situations. This is really the size weapon I suggest. This gun here is a Glock 41. This is a full-size 45. This is kind of a big gun. Unless you're 6'5" and you weigh 300 pounds, it's going to be harder to conceal something like this. So there's nothing wrong with this if this is what you want to carry. A full, and it doesn't have to be a Glock. It could be a 1911. It could be whatever. But just think of the size of the gun. Think of how easy is it going to be to conceal this in the summertime when you're only wearing a t-shirt, right? If you're, maybe a little shorter, maybe a little thinner, again, it's definitely going to be hard to conceal this weapon. So think about the size of the gun that you're going to get. Also, you got to think about the action type. When I say action, these guns here are striker-fired guns. Meaning, once you make the gun hot, there's no safety that you have to deal with. There's no grip safety. There's no external safety. If you need it, you just draw it out, point it at that guy, and pull the trigger. There are other guns. This is a SIG P226. And this is known as a single double action. And that means when that first trigger pull, the gun is has a 10-pound trigger pull. After I pull the trigger one time and slide cycles, the hammer will be cocked. So the next shot and every shot after that is only going to be 4 pounds. So that's something you're going to have to work with. You're going to have to practice with that gun. You're going to have to dry fire. I see a lot of people that get a single double action gun and that first trigger pull is kind of heavy, and it causes some issues. And then you get through that first heavy trigger pull. Then the next trigger pull is really light, and some people, accidentally send rounds that they didn't mean to send. So when you're looking at buying a gun, get the gun that fits you as far as the size. Get the caliber that fits you. Don't let somebody tell you, oh, you need a 45 or whatever. Getting a 38 or a 9mm is fine. It's the best gun to have is the gun that you can actually hit what you're shooting at with. Don't get worried about getting a Magnum this and a 45 that. If you can shoot that gun well and you want to carry it, by all means, carry it. But we're talking to people who are just starting off. And generally newer people, I think you're better off just going with something like a 9mm or a 38. Just stick with that. It's better to be accurate and hit what you're aiming at than to get some super wazoo big caliber gun and you can't hit a damn thing with it. But again, make sure you do your research, shoot some guns, go to a gun range, rent some different guns, see what you like before you make that purchase. Tip number 3, make sure you get some additional training after your CPL class. In my state of Michigan, you only have to take an 8-hour CPL class, and a big chunk of that is dealing with laws, dealing with use of force, no shoot scenarios, stuff like that. A lot of classroom stuff. Another portion of that class will deal with guns as far as how to clean them and maintain them and what kind of guns are good and what kind of holsters are good. I mean, you spend the majority of the class, a good portion of the class, in the classroom learning that, and that's all important stuff. But you have to learn all that stuff first, and then you go out to the range and you shoot. And the shooting portion is kind of small. In Michigan, it's 3 hours on the range or 30 rounds, that's not a lot of shooting. If you're going to take that class, that 8-hour Michigan pistol safety class, and you never shoot your gun again, or you never get any additional training, you're really going to be behind the curve if you ever have to use the gun. So I highly suggest after you get that permit and you decide what gun you want, you get your gun, you get your equipment, your holster, go look for some additional training. When I say additional training, I mean on the range. Get with a good quality instructor and learn how to shoot that gun. Learn things that apply to what you're doing. So you're carrying the gun concealed, learn from somebody that knows how to draw a gun from concealment, that knows how to draw a gun from a like inside the waistband type holster, something that you're going to be carrying when you're carrying this gun concealed. Go to somebody that has a lot of experience and is a good instructor and can teach you how to shoot that gun better. Don't stop at that 8-hour pistol safety class. That is absolutely, in my opinion, not enough training. Get some more additional training regarding the use of your firearm. The 4th tip, and for me this is huge, are weapon manipulation drills. And we did a video about this. You can check out our page at 3631 Tactical on YouTube if you're not already watching that. And look at the weapon manipulation drills that we did. It's huge to practice. When I say weapon manipulation drills, I mean things like how to draw the gun out, dry firing the gun. You can practice loading and unloading and reloading. You can practice clearing malfunctions. You can do all of these things without ever firing a live round. And if you're not firing live rounds, it means you're not spending money on rounds. It means you're not spending money on range time. Just find a place in your basement, somewhere where you're not going to be disturbed, and practice. Again, watch that video. We really went into depth of showing you how to practice an emergency reload. But weapon manipulation drills are huge. You do not have to shoot this gun to get better. It will dramatically increase your level of expertise with your firearm. So weapon manipulation drills, I think not enough people do them. If you look at people who competitively shoot pistols, everybody who's shooting at a pretty high level, they all do weapon manipulation drills. And it's a very small amount of time. I try to do them 10, 15 minutes a day, every day if I can. So make sure you practice your weapon manipulation drills. You'll see a big benefit for zero cost, $0. Also, know the laws of your state. Now, I'm in Michigan, so my laws may be a little bit different than other people's laws in other states. But please know the laws regarding your carrying a concealed weapon. Know the laws of use, use of force, and you gotta know this stuff. I see a lot of things on the news lately, in the media, people making really bad decisions, people shooting at people for shoplifting. You can't do that. Ultimately, maybe you were a bad student, or maybe you went to a really bad class. But please know your laws. It is so easy, and I've seen this happen. I've been a law enforcement officer for 15 years, and I've seen people that were otherwise law-abiding, good citizens that made a stupid mistake and shot somebody that they weren't supposed to shoot, and now they're sitting in prison somewhere. And I hate to see somebody that's a good, productive, otherwise law-abiding citizen, and they made a bad mistake because they didn't know the laws of their state. And that kind of goes back to that. Our first tip is take a quality class so that they teach you what you need to know. But don't stop there. It's real easy. This is the information age, right? How easy is it to Google Michigan CPL laws or concealed carry laws in my state? And you'll find a bunch of good information, and do the homework yourself. Read about case law, read about different court cases. Because this information is so easy to come by. But please know your laws and what you can and can't do when you're carrying a pistol. If you're going to travel, you're going to go to another state and you want to carry your gun, please research those laws. Get on the web, get on their state website, research their laws. If you're not sure about something, call. I've done that. As a law enforcement officer, I've done that. I've called other states and saying, hey, I'm coming to your state, and I've had various questions about things. So please know the laws of your state where you're carrying. And if you're going to travel, know the laws in their state. Do not run afoul of the law simply because you didn't take the time to research and know what you needed to know. If you follow all these tips, you'll be successful. And remember, check us out at 3631 Tactical on YouTube for more videos. And check us out at 3631tactical.com for a Michigan CPL class. Thanks for watching.